Okay, I know I'm not the only one who felt it. That gut punch moment in Murder Horny when Dexter looked at Harrison and said, "You're my reason to live." That line didn't feel like hope. It felt like a warning. And I can't stop thinking about it. If you've been watching Dexter, Resurrection, you already know, this isn't just another reboot. This is a funeral in slow motion. I said what I said. Because we are not just watching a father and son reconnect. We're watching a man who's lost everything clawing his way back to the one thing that gives him a reason to wake up. And when that one thing becomes everything, you already know what's coming. That's the setup for heartbreak. That's the setup for loss. Let me say it louder for the people in the back, Dexter doesn't get happy endings. He survives them. This is a guy whose life has been built on secrets, shadows, and blood. And now suddenly, he's whispering words like need, care, and you're all I have? That's not growth. That's a death sentence in the Dexter universe. You remember Rita, right? Season 4? That bathtub scene still haunts me. That moment taught us one thing: the second Dexter opens his heart, something or someone gets ripped away from him. And now he's cracked wide open again. For Harrison. For his son. And that makes Harrison the biggest target in the entire series. Now before we dive deeper, I want you to really feel this because I don't just want to throw plot theories at you. This isn't just a breakdown of scenes. This is a feeling. It's the sick feeling in your stomach when you know something bad is coming, but you don't know when. Or how. You just know it's going to wreck you. That's what makes Dexter, Resurrection so different. It's not just a continuation of the blood slides and Code of Harry. It's a slow-burning emotional horror about what happens when a monster tries to be human, and finally gets something to lose. So let's rewind. Let's go back to that moment. Harrison's in New York. He kills a guy defending a woman. He's spiraling, scared, and alone. And Dexter? The man who's supposed to be dead? Shows up. Not to judge. Not to kill. But to protect. That scene? When Dexter watches Harrison from the shadows. He's shaking. The cold-blooded killer, the guy who's been slicing up criminals since season 1, is trembling at the thought of facing his own kid. Not because he's scared of getting shot again. But because he's scared of rejection. Scared that the one person he loves might not love him back. He even says it to Harry, the ghost in his mind. I don't get scared. But that scares the shit out of me. And right there, you can feel the shift. This isn't just Dexter trying to fix his past. He's desperate for a future. He's desperate for connection. And that desperation? It's dangerous. Because when Dexter gets emotional, people die. Let me break it down for you. Every major death in this franchise, every single one, has happened right after Dexter let someone get too close. Rita? She represented love. Domestic peace. She saw the man, not the monster. Gone. Deb? His sister. The one who saw all of him, even the parts she couldn't handle. Gone. Dokes? The one guy who called out Dexter for what he really was. Gone. And now Harrison. His son. The only true reflection of him left. A walking, talking combination of his darkness and his hope. It's poetic. It's painful. And if the writers are bold, and I think they're setting us up for the biggest emotional collapse in Dexter's entire story. Because if Harrison dies, Dexter won't just lose his son. He'll lose his humanity. Again. Right now, he's holding on to that one thread, the belief that Harrison can be good. That Harrison doesn't have to carry the darkness. And more than that Harrison can somehow save him. Heal him. But if that thread snaps, what's left? Nothing. A hollow shell of a man. A broken father. And a dark passenger with no anchor. That's not just a character arc. That's a warning. And don't get it twisted, the danger is real. Harrison is surrounded by threats. Mia? Knows way too much. Prater? Already suspicious. And Dexter himself? He just keeps getting closer to the edge. Closer to being exposed. You think Harrison is safe? He's not. He's never been safe. Not with a father like Dexter. Not in a world like this. I want you to imagine it. Just for a second. Harrison gone. Taken by Mia. Taken by Prater. Taken by Dexter's past. Imagine that scene. The blood. The silence. The look on Dexter's face when he realizes that his chance at redemption just bled out in his arms. That's not just a twist. That's a scream. And I know some of you are like, no way they do that. Not again. Not after Rita. Not after Deb. But I'm telling you that's exactly why they will. Because the only way to push Dexter further than ever before is to take away the last person who matters. The last reason he hasn't gone completely numb. The last piece of light. And if that happens, we're getting a new Dexter. A darker Dexter. One who's not killing to satisfy his code. One who's killing to punish the world. To punish himself. To burn it all down. And that version? That's not a hero. That's a monster. A real one. The kind that doesn't care who he takes down. Now I know this is a lot. And maybe I'm reading too deep. Maybe it's just great writing. Maybe they won't go that far. But come on, look at the signs. They're all there. Dexter saying you're my reason to live? That's foreshadowing. The flashbacks to Rita? That's foreshadowing. The constant references to Trinity? That's not nostalgia. That's a setup. And the way Harrison keeps getting pulled into the chaos? That's not a subplot. That's the ticking clock. I've seen too much TV. I've lived through too many heartbreaks. I know this pattern. I know this rhythm. We're not being led to a reunion. We're being led to a reckoning. And I get it, you're hoping I'm wrong. Honestly? Me too. I want Harrison to live. I want Dexter to grow. I want some kind of peace for a character who's been in chaos his whole life. But that's the thing, Dexter's not built for peace. He's built for tragedy. And the deeper this series pulls us into that father-son bond, the more I feel like it's only building us up to break us down. You know what it feels like? Like watching someone build a sandcastle too close to the tide. It's beautiful. It's delicate. You want it to last. But you can already hear the waves coming. You already know it's gonna get washed away. Let's talk about Dexter's vulnerability for a second. Because this is new. This is different. In the old show, he pretended to care. He smiled at birthday parties. He said I love you like it was foreign in his mouth. But in Resurrection? He's feeling it. Like, really feeling it. His face cracks. His voice shakes. His hands tremble. That's not the mask. That's the man underneath it. Finally bleeding through. And when a killer starts feeling things he's not used to, that's when everything goes wrong. Remember how he told Harrison, I wanted to teach you how to control the darkness? That's not just parenting advice, that's projection. Dexter's been trying to rewrite his own past through his son. Trying to fix what he can't fix in himself. And that's never a stable foundation. Because Harrison? He's not Dexter. He's not cold. He's not calculated. He feels things too hard, too fast. That's what made him snap back in New Blood, and it's what's making him unravel now. He doesn't want to become his father. But he also doesn't know how to not be him. And Dexter? He sees it. That flicker. That potential for darkness. And it scares the hell out of him. Not because Harrison might kill again, but because he might enjoy it. There's this moment so subtle, most people missed it, where Harrison looks in the mirror after the guy he killed. There's this stillness. Not guilt. Not relief. Just this weird calm. Like he's trying to decide if it felt good or bad. That moment? That's the crack in the armor. Let me ask you something, if Harrison does die, do you think Dexter will ever forgive himself? Because I don't. I think it'll destroy whatever's left of him. Right now, he's barely holding it together. He's sleeping less. Eating less. Constantly paranoid. He can't even look at himself in the mirror without seeing Rita. Without seeing Deb. Without seeing blood. And Harrison is the one thing keeping him tethered to anything remotely human. Take that away? And you don't get a Dexter that goes back to the code. You get a Dexter that burns the code down. There's this theory going around that Dexter might turn on himself, that if Harrison dies, he won't go after anyone else. He'll go after the man responsible for it all, himself. Think about it. He's already tried to disappear once. Already let people believe he was dead. He's tired. We see it in his eyes. The weight of everything he's done, it's catching up. And grief? Grief is the one thing that makes killers sloppy. So yeah. Maybe the end game isn't just Harrison's death. Maybe it's Dexter's too. But before we go there, let's not forget the wild cards in play. Mia. Mia scares me. Like, genuinely creeps me out. She's smart. She's manipulative. And she's onto Dexter in a way that makes me nervous. Because she doesn't just know what he is. She knows how to play him. She's got that survivor instinct. That ability to sense weakness and twist it. You don't think she's gonna use Harrison to get to Dexter? She's already tried once. And if she gets out? If she escapes prison? If she finds Harrison alone? It's over. And what about Prater? This guy's a mystery. Rich. Connected. Cold-blooded. And Dexter just pissed him off in the worst possible way. You really think he's gonna let that slide? Nah. Guys like Prater don't forget. They wait. They calculate. And they hit you where it hurts the most. So let me paint the picture again. Dexter's finally found a sliver of peace. A son who forgives him. A chance to move forward. And then? Gone. Snatched away by people he should have never crossed paths with. That's not just a plot twist. That's poetry. That's full circle pain. Because Dexter's story has always been about control. About keeping the monster in the box. But love? Love is messy. Love opens the box and throws away the key. Love is what makes you careless. Love is what gets people killed. You want to know the truth? Harrison's already doomed. Because Dexter loves him. And in this universe, love is a curse. Let's say just for argument that Harrison does die. How does that change the show? Well, 1, it gives Dexter a reason to come fully undone. No more pretending. No more rules. Just vengeance. 2, it clears the path for a darker, more dangerous season, maybe the darkest yet. Where Dexter is no longer trying to be a better man. He's trying to punish the world for making him believe he could be. And 3, it forces the audience to confront the one thing we've all avoided, that Dexter's story can only end one way. Alone. Empty. And probably dead. There's no redemption arc here. There's no happy cabin in the woods. There's no beach where he gets to retire. This is a tragedy. A beautiful, violent, tragic story about a man who wanted to be human, but was never allowed to be. And Harrison? He's the last thread of that dream. Cut that thread, and the whole thing unravels. So yeah, when I look at Dexter, Resurrection, I don't see a revival. I see a goodbye. I see a man running out of time. Running out of chances. And running straight into the one fate he's spent his whole life trying to avoid, being truly, completely alone. So what do we do with all this? We hope. We cross our fingers and hope the writers give us something different. That maybe, just this once, Dexter gets to keep the one person he loves. That maybe Harrison doesn't end up like everyone else in Dexter's life, broken, bleeding, or buried. But hope? In this show? It's dangerous. And that's what makes it so addicting. Because we don't just watch Dexter for the kills. We don't just tune in for the blood spatter, the cold cuts, the tonight's the night monologues. We come back because this story makes us feel something real. It makes us feel afraid. Not of monsters but of losing the people who make us human. That's what this show has always been about. It's not just crime drama. It's not just psychological thriller. It's grief. It's guilt. It's the war inside a man who never asked to feel, but ended up feeling everything. And now? In Resurrection, we're watching the last battle. Dexter is more human than he's ever been. More open. More raw. And the irony is? That might be what gets him killed. Or worse, what gets Harrison killed. You can already feel the storm coming. The tension in every episode is thicker. The shadows feel heavier. The air feels like it's closing in. Mia's name keeps getting dropped just a little too often. Prater's calm is just a little too quiet. The city feels like it's shrinking, like all of Dexter's secrets are crawling toward the surface. We're at that point in the story where things stop building, and start breaking. And when it breaks, it's not going to be clean. Here's the real twist. I don't think Dexter, Resurrection is just setting us up for one big death. I think it's setting us up for a collapse. A chain reaction. The kind where one domino falls, and takes the whole system down. Harrison dies? Dexter doesn't just go on a rampage. He exposes himself. He throws away the code. He takes out Mia, Prater, everyone, and he doesn't care who sees. He wants the world to know. Wants it to hurt. Wants it to pay. And what happens after that? Maybe someone stops him. Maybe he lets them. Maybe he ends it himself. But one thing's for sure, the Dexter we knew is gone. Because that guy? He had rules. He had lines he wouldn't cross. He had hope. This new Dexter? He's done hoping. And that's the scariest version of him we've ever seen. Now I know this is a lot to take in. If you're still watching, if you've made it this far, I just want to say thank you. Because this show? This story? It's more than just TV. It's something we've carried for years. It's pain we remember. It's characters we loved. It's closure we never really got. And now that closure is finally coming. One way or another. I want you to think about something. Really think about it. If this is the final chapter, if this is the last story we ever get with Dexter Morgan, what would feel true? Not satisfying. Not easy. But true. Because truth isn't always pretty. It's not always fair. Sometimes it hurts like hell. But when it lands, you feel it. In your chest. In your stomach. In your bones. And if the truth is that Dexter has to lose Harrison, then so be it. Because that pain? That heartbreak? That's what makes the story matter. That's what turns a character into a legacy. And that's why we're here. That's why we're watching. So when that moment comes, don't say it came out of nowhere. We were warned. Every flashback, every tear, every quiet conversation in the dark. They've all been preparing us. And when the blood finally hits the floor, when Harrison takes his final breath, or Dexter screams without sound, or the camera just lingers a little too long on an empty chair at the dinner table, we'll know. We'll feel it. And we'll carry that with us. Because that's what good storytelling does. It leaves a mark. Now before I wrap this up, I just want to say this to the community. Yeah, you watching right now. You're not alone. I see your comments. I read the theories. I know some of you are scared this is gonna go the same way New Blood did. Or the original finale. But listen, this version of Dexter? It's different. It's smarter. It's braver. And it's not scared to hurt us if that's what the story demands. So stay sharp. Stay ready. And while we're at it, drop your theories in the comments. Do you think Harrison's gonna make it? Do you think Dexter's going to self-destruct? Or is there still a future for both of them? Let's talk. Let's obsess. Let's overanalyze every frame like our sanity depends on it. Because this is our story too now. And if you felt even a fraction of what I just said, if your heart dropped at the thought of Harrison not making it, then do me a favor, like this video. Share it with your crew. And hit subscribe, because I promise, I'm not done screaming into the void just yet. We're in this together. Every episode. Every breakdown. Every heartbreak. Dexter might be alone on screen. But we're a whole damn army out here. Don't forget that. Alright, I'm done. For now. But stay close, because something tells me, the worst is yet to come.